I was doing my morning mobility, spine stuff, etc., and I decided to make this video because I think it's important to acknowledge in your practice when you're working a really good process and you feel that things are happening, even though sometimes visually it may not be so incredible relative to the wealth of inspiring acrobatic feats that you find on the interwebs these days. So what I'm going to do is show you some my own thoracic and lumbar flexion and extension. And when I do this stuff, like, I really feel it, but there are obvious points in my spine where there's not as much movement as other points, and visually it's kind of like, ugh. But inside I feel it, and I know that my technique is pretty good. So so the point of this basically is, like, do you keep working, feel good, and take pride in your process. So here's thoracic flexion. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to isolate just the thoracic spine. This isn't an instructional video, it's more just to illustrate some ideas. Right? That's pretty easy. You can see I can round my back a lot. And then here's thoracic extension or back bend. So first I'm pulling hands and knees together, closing my ribs and reaching back with the back of my head. And then I push with my hands and knees and try to arch right in between my shoulder blades a little bit more. I really, really feel it. I can feel that I'm making movement happen there, even though I know that it doesn't look like much, especially because of the density of my back muscles. Okay, and then here I'll try to keep the thoracic extension to some degree and go into lumbar extension. And you can see that obviously that's a much easier place for me and most of the natural born world to work. And then from here I'm going to try to keep my thoracic spine in a somewhat extended position, like not rounded, and go into lumbar flexion or rounding. And I'll start in my upper lumbar. I'm just trying to work my way down. Right now I'm pushing hands and knees apart. And then when I feel like I've maxed out, I'm going to pull hands and knees together and try to see if I can eke out a little bit more lumbar flexion without losing my upper back in a little bit of extension. Oh, so it's kind of brutal. It actually feels really good in my back. It's not extreme ranges, but it feels very therapeutic. And I know that, especially, like, for example, in thoracic extension or lumbar flexion, it's not that impressive looking, but I really feel that it's working. And I think that if you continue to stay engaged in your practice and put good protocols in place for progress, then you have every right to feel good about where you are. And that's really just a mind game. So I hope everybody has a good day.